The Triple Crown of the Maritime iRacing League comes to South Boston Speedway in Massachusetts for the GoTire HRM 250, the fourth round of the Maritime iRacing League, and what's sure to be 250 laps of non-stop fireworks here at South Boston Speedway. Good evening, race fans. You are watching the Maritime iRacing League on ETVLive. Joe Cortez with you in the booth, joined by the cowboy himself, JD Webb. And JD, this is going to be a lot of fun tonight. 250 laps. The late models of the Maritime iRacing League never cease to disappoint, and put them all here at the 4/10 mile South Boston Oval. It's going to be a very entertaining show on many levels.
I am a convert, Joe. I'll tell you what, Eddie Walczyk, this is his deal right here. This late model short track stuff. And Father Eddie has been working over me something good. And I'll tell you what, I am becoming a short track lover big time. I've pretty much given up the oval track stuff. This stuff is right up my alley, and I'm really looking forward to this race tonight.
JD has seen the light. Hallelujah. At South Boston Speedway, it is definitely a place to be a late model convert if you are not one already. 4/10 mile flat oval here at South Boston. And JD, as we were talking about before the race, just a very down-home, countrified style NASCAR track that is really all about the fan experience. And tonight the fans are going to be in for a treat. 250 laps in these late models should make for a very entertaining race on, oh my gosh, so many levels I can't even begin to fathom.
And I'll tell you what, this is a pretty big race right here. The top 18 in points this season locked in from here on out until Christmas. So this is probably one of the important races of the series. And Tim Terry, who has been with us for quite some time. You can hear him on the PSRTV broadcast during the DWC season. I'll tell you what, this group of drivers right here, if you're into short track racing, there is no better right here on Wednesday night when the Maritime iRacing League signs up here and we get to broadcast their season. So good stuff coming our way here just shortly.
And if you mentioned something very important right there, JD, this is the first of 3 Triple Crown races for the Maritime iRacing League. This is the first of the crown jewels that these guys will be chasing all season. The next one will be December 4th, the Speedway Miramachi 250 at Oxford Plains Speedway, I should say, and then February 5th for the second annual Langley 250 at Langley Speedway. So this is going to be a race that these guys are going to want to win, not just because it's a big race, not because it's a TV race with sponsorship money on the line, but this is going to be one of a handful of 250 lap races. It's going to be a very, very long race, very important race to bolster these careers. Plus, like you said, the top 18 are locked into points after this race. Let's go ahead and go through the top 10 in points real quick. Right on top of the board is Ronnie McKay. He's your leader with 298 points and at least a couple wins to his name. Kevin Savory behind him by 20 points. He is second. Mike Alexander, 24 points behind. He shares third with Keith Mack. Mike Rhino in fifth, 36 points behind your leader. Jake Goodwin in sixth. Travis Roma in seventh. Ricky Arbeau in eighth. Carter Wilson ninth. And Stephen Matthews in 10th. 56 points right now separate your top 10 in the Maritime iRacing League. And 56 points may not sound like a lot, but if you can't find a way to catch up in a hurry, it might be a very, very big chasm between first and 10th.
Absolutely. Qualifying underway here at South Boston Speedway. Ricky Arbeau currently sitting on the pole with a 14.891. Right behind him will be Jake Goodwin in that number 48 machine as qualifying continues here. Again, this is a pretty important race for these guys here tonight. And a couple of transfers coming in. Mackenzie Brewer and Patrick Healy making the race here tonight, Joe.
Both those guys coming in from the Sportsman race on Monday. One guy you're not going to see out here on the track is Craig McDonald. He was suspended after being caught in an incident in the Sportsman race. He will be out of commission until November 7th, and he will also be docked some points in the Sportsman series as well. something that we talked about with Tim earlier when we were talking over this race. These guys can make it on a full fuel run. These tanks hold 22 gallons of fuel. You can make it all 22 laps, or all 250 laps on 22 gallons of fuel. But the thing is, you probably don't want to, because as the night goes on, as these cars work through and these cars try to handle, that handling goes away that you get from having the extra fuel in the back. You can make it on a full fuel run, but I doubt we're going to see anybody actually try it.
Yeah, what I'm expecting here tonight, Joe, is probably a couple of cautions early in the race as these guys get it sorted out. Then probably looking at some long green flag runs in between. I think that'll take us up to probably the last, let's say 20 laps or so here at South Boston Speedway. It's a half-mile track, or less than a half-mile track, actually. It's about, let's call it 0.6 of a mile, I believe, or 0.4 of a mile. But probably going to get some late cautions here as they ramp it up the last, 10, 20 laps. So, this could be a fuel. I don't know if fuel is going to be too critical here tonight, but hey, we'll see.
Oh, fuel will be absolutely an issue tonight, because as the fuel diminishes from the back of this car, as the fuel diminishes from the tank, that car's going to handle a whole lot looser. That back drive is going to make them turn and spin a lot harder, especially when there's no counterweight on that back end, JD. And because of that, you're going to have to see somebody coming in for at least one fuel stop, if not two, not because they need the fuel, but because they need it to handle these cars a whole lot better. The Monday Sportsman race, if it was any idea or any preview of what we're going to see out here tonight, 7 yellow flags, 12 finishers out of 24 starters, only 2 on the lead lap, which means we're going to have a very, very contentious race. Each of these guys is going to be fighting tooth and nail, hammer and tong, insert your adjective here, for position, which will make for some excellent racing.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you, quite some time, built in 1957. It's one of the older circuits on the older tracks on the circuit. But I've been to this track, Joe, and it's very, very deceiving, because you walk across the speedway from the stand over into the pit row down there, pit road and the pit boxes down there. It's quite a ways away. But I tell you get a couple of cars out here on the track, and suddenly it's a pretty narrow track, even going down that front stretch. So turns are banked about 12 degrees or so, about 10 degrees on the straightaways. So really looking for some good racing here tonight for sure.
Going to be a lot of fun. Qualifying coming to an end. The drivers are down in the hauler for the drivers meeting. So let's go ahead and kick it off trackside for the beginning festivities of tonight's race. The GoTire HRM 250 live from South Boston Speedway, round 4 of the Maritime iRacing League, the first of the 3 Triple Crown races for the Maritime iRacing League, 250 laps, and what's going to be a very long, contentious night for each of the starters that will take the call here at South Boston Speedway. Let's go ahead and kick it down trackside for the singing of the Canadian National Anthem. the Canadian National Anthem performed here live at South Boston Speedway. 24 drivers about ready to take the grid here at South Boston Speedway. JD, it's going to be a great race, 250 laps. Let's go ahead and bring you down the starting lineup on the pole tonight. As soon as the pole sitters get here, we'll get you down the starting lineup. Ricky Arbeau, he's going to be one to beat tonight. He's got a 61 machine starting sitting on the pole. JD, you got an eye on anybody tonight?
Hey, you know what? I'm going to keep my eye on the 48 machine, Jake Goodwin. I always like that number for the 48. Jimmy Johnson certainly doing a good job of it over the Oval Series. But keep an eye on the 48. In the second row, starting in third position, the 98, that belongs to Stephen Matthews. On the outside of him in fourth position, 22, that's Keith Mack.
Let's go down to road number 3 now. Ronnie McKay, your points leader in the 97 machine. He will start 5th. Outside of him, Mike Alexander in the 15, starting 6th.
In the 33 machine in 7th position, that's going to be Doug Hubley. Outside him in the number 34, that's Mike Rhino.
Lap number 5 belongs to 38 of Travis Roma on the inside. Outside of him, currently sitting 10th in points, Carter Wilson in the 27, starts 10th.
Next row back, that's Nathan Doherty in the number 6 machine on the inside. In 12th on the outside, the number 88, Kevin Savory.
Cars now rolling off to take the first parade lap. Let's go ahead and keep going down the lineup. Mark Williams restarts in 13th at 24. Martin Landry in the 00 starts 14th.
In 15th is the number 5 of Patrick Healy, Todd Cousins. He'll be starting in 16th in the 05.
Tracy Foster in the 55 starts 17th. Brandon Campbell in the 16, 18th. Vic Greenwood in the 11, 19th. Luke Cassie, Kaisi in the 4 starts 20th.
And in 21st, the 45, that's Mackenzie Brewer. Tim Terry in the number 75, starting 22nd. The rest of your field looks like this. Carson Arub and Rehan Savoy in the 21 machine.
So 24 drivers will take the call when we go to Green Flag Racing. It is a full field tonight for the Maritime iRacing League. 250 laps to start as soon as the pace car makes the hard turn down pit road, which he should this time by. It will be Ricky Arbeau's field to lead. He will see the green flag and waste no time. Ricky Arbeau, that's the jump. The 48 of Jake Goodwin immediately behind him. They are now stacked 2 by 2 behind him. The 98 on the inside in third. Fighting against the 22 machine, that's Keith Mack. Keith Mack has the line on the outside, but can he hold on to it? The 98 fighting tooth and nail side by side. They continue jockeying for position. Lap 1 complete. The 22 and 98 still battling for position behind them. The 97-15 still battling back and forth. Outside line seems to have the advantage, but again, they hold on to it through the turns. 22 of Keith Mack almost around the 98 of Steve Matthews right now. Matthews just won't give away position, though.
It's the banking here at South Boston Speedway, 12 degrees in the turns. That's what's keeping the 15 and 22 up there alongside the 97 back here. The 97 belonging to Ronald McKay, and then that's Stephen Matthews up there on the bottom of the 98 machine. Goodwin dropped right to the bottom on the get-go here, staying right with Ricky Arbeau out there in front, but it's still 2 by 2 back here for second and fourth place.
And now it's Doug Hubel in the 33 machine. He's got a battle on his hands. He's trying to fight off 2 cars behind him. That's a 27 looking for position behind him. Carter Wilson and the 34, Mike Rhino. Rhino is going to go ahead and fall back into line and try the crossover on the 27. Not going to happen this time by. They are single file now all throughout your top 10. Ricky Arbeau gets a big jump right now, 0.6 of a second over Jake Goodwin and company. In top 10, all single file, all the way to the top 15. All single file. Everybody calm down in this race. They realize if the Sportsman Show was any indication, you can't win it on lap number 1. You have to make it all the way around on 250. And as Tim told us in the before the pre-race show tonight, the challenge for each of these drivers is going to be keeping all 4 fenders on the car.
Absolutely. Hey, this is short track racing. Why would we? 27 machine, Carter Wilson back here, about 8th position. Looks like he might be trying to duke it out with the 33 just ahead of him. That's Doug Hubley up here. 8 laps in the books here already, but it's 250 laps here tonight with the MIRL here at South Boston Speedway. So, we got back in here in single file line for the most part. these guys probably going to put it on cruise control here for a little bit. Nathan Doherty, let's give a shout out to him. Back here in 11th position in the 6th machine. He's off pace by quite a bit here, but hey, you know what? He maybe have that cruise control set and ready to go here. 250 laps. That's a long way around here, guys, before we see that checkered flag.
10 laps already in the books, and we already have some problems. So the 38 machine, Travis Roma, electrical problems on the 38th machine. Roma currently scored 7th in points. If he can't get that electrical problem figured out, he's going to be in for a very long night and possibly drop out from the top 10 if he can't get out back on track. Jake Goodwin now under fire from Steve Matthews in the 98 machine. Those two going back and forth. The 98 keeps pulling up to the bumper of the 48. Not happening anytime soon. I think he's biding his time, but the 98 still letting the 48 know, guess what? I'm here and I'm waiting for you. Keith Mack watching those two do battle as they work around. Let's go on the bumper now of the 48 machine. You can see just how close he is to the 98 of Steve Matthews. Matthews pulling up through the turns each and every time. The 48 of Jake Goodwin able to get some distance between them once they get out on the stretch. And going into turns, the 48 and 98 inseparable, like glue to like glue is the nose of the 98 to the bumper of the 48.
Like they're hooked up on the trailer hitch here. I've been watching the 98 machine. He's not in a big hurry to get around the 48. Looks like he's just kind of sitting tight there, waiting as these laps start winding down here a little bit before he makes the move. The 05 up on the outside is going to be put down a lap. That belongs to Todd Cousins. Leaders going past him. He stays up there on the top side. Let the faster cars go down here on the bottom.
Ronnie McKay, your points leader, currently sitting in 6th right now, about to get around that 05 machine of Todd Cousins, who's already one lap down. The 97, he started in 5th tonight. He gave a position. He's currently being scored in the 6th place position, but I don't think he's in a hurry to get up front. I think he's just kind of riding his own race at this point and letting everything happen the way they will around him. Carter Wilson going to be the next one to get around the 05 machine. He's driving the 27 machine. I believe he has currently scored 10th in points, so he needs a big finish tonight if he's going to try to make some moves in the points battle, and he's got an opportunity to do so, considering guys like Mark Williams and Patrick Healy already down in points already, down in the group already. If he can start and finish in front of them, he might be able to get a good finish. He might be able to get some points tonight. Travis Roma now back on track. The bad news for him, he is 18 laps down and counting.
The 54 of Carson Aub, I'm sure I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, but the 54 machine going a lap down to the 61 finally. So Carson Aub falls victim to the number 61 of Ricky Arbeau. Arbeau running a very clean race up here, just hitting his marks, from one end of this track to the other. But I'll tell you what, Jake Goodwin and Matthews back here, these Cowboys just along for the ride for right now, Joe. The 98 kind of peeking on the inside of the 48. I think he's looking for a hole, but the 98 certainly showing a lot of patience here. 2 laps in the books at South Boston.
The top 4 cars now all lined up, nose to tail. It looks like they are parading around the track. The 61 of Arbeau almost gets loose coming off of turns 1 and 2. Dirt tracked it a little bit through those turns. Will he do it again? Not this time, but the 48 knows that the 61 is vulnerable. Pokes the nose down. The 48 trying to get around Arbeau and the 61. We have a battle for the lead brewing. The 48 gets it on the apron, so Jake Goodwin forced to bide his time for at least one more lap, plus lap traffic in front of him, going 2 by 2. In front of him is the 4 of Luke Kaisi and the 11 of Vic Greenwood, about to go down 1 lap. So the 48, the door opened for him. The door then rapidly shut, but Goodwin has shown that he can and may be able to, after this lap traffic gets around the 61.
Well, lap traffic, pretty much nothing more than obstacles for the 61 of Ricky Arbeau up here. That makes it difficult for the 48 to try to peek on the inside and get a run. This track is just so wide. And like I said in the beginning, I've walked across this track for real. It seems like it's a long ways from wall to wall. But I'll tell you what, Cowboy, you get a couple of these iron horses out here, and it's not as wide as you think it is. The 48 still trying to get the job done here, as the 61 still faces lap traffic up here ahead. They get these things out of the way, and the 48 probably take a second look at that number 61.
More lap traffic in front of him. That's the 16 machine about to go a lap down of Brandon Campbell. Also, Mackenzie Brewer getting ready to go a lap down as well. Let's see if we can get the door cam from the perspective of the 16 machine. As you see Ricky Arbeau and the 48 machine passing with Jake Goodwin. You can see just how tight these quarters are for these drivers. The 16 has to go all the way to the top of the track to let these guys by and let them get around him in a safe manner. But if you want to be competitive, you would try that second line. But I don't think you can right now without jeopardizing an accident out there. Plus, there's still plenty of opportunities for those drivers to get their laps back. The 45 of Mackenzie Brewer now 1 lap down as the 61 machine gets around him. 48 follows suit. 98 as Stephen Matthews thought about making a big move, went way down the apron, is not going to make it. So now your top 5 still running in line. And look who's broken the top 5 once again. Ronnie McKay, welcome back to the 97 machine. He's now in 5th.
Throw a shout out to the 45 machine of Mackenzie Brewer. As I understand it, in fact, I might have had an occasion to talk to the young man. I think he's only now, don't kick my ass if I'm wrong, he's either 11 or 13. I don't recall which, but I know that he is a young man and doing an outstanding job out here with these guys. He's driving that 45 machine back here, way in the back. He just went down a lap, as Joe said. As we got a caution on the track, Joe, hearing it's the 05 machine.
That is correct. Todd Cousins got around. He was facing the wrong way for just a moment there as he had some contact with the 54 machine as a result of hard racing. Let's go ahead and take a look at the replay real quick. You see what happens there. 3 wide temporarily as the 05 and 54 both trying to make way for the 75 machine of Tim Terry. Nowhere to go for the 05, but into the door of the 54. Not a whole lot of damage between those two cars. Looks like light incidental contact that spent the 05 around, but nonetheless, that will bring out the first yellow flag of the night, and maybe to the benefit of Todd Cousins, as if he gets a good jump, he can get a lap back.
I'll tell you what, the discussion we had with Tim Terry, during a pre-race, getting everything ready tonight, Joe, this is, Tim Terry needs a bucket full of luck for sure, but he just narrowly escaped a mayhem of sheet metal there and could have been involved, but he had some bad luck last time out, but Tim Terry just narrowly escaping that mess.
Now narrowly getting on pit road is all of your leaders. Ricky Arbeau will be the first one to lead them down. Don't look for these guys to have tires. It looks like it's going to be a fuel stop for each of these guys. Let's go ahead and take an even eye on what goes on. 61, nope, they'll take tires. 48 will take tires. 98 will take tires. 22 taking tires. As long as you're down there waiting for the jerry rig can to fill you up with fuel, you might as well be productive and take some tires out there. First one off will be the 22 machine. That's Keith Mack. He only takes 2 tires, and he gets a big jump off everybody off of pit road.
You bet, and I'll tell you what, pit stops for all of these guys, 4 new shoes and a bucket of oats for most of them. And I'll tell you, 36 laps in the books here at the South Boston Speedway, 250 laps on the board. So, like I said, this may be, a few early cautions in the beginning here, but I got a funny feeling these guys are going to get us straightened out. I mean, the look of the racing up until the 05 kind of lost it there, it was looking pretty darn good. So I got a funny feeling once these guys get it all sorted out, a couple early cautions, Joe, I think we're headed for some long green flag runs before we see that checker flag tonight.
22, 27, both electing only to take 2 tires. Everybody else, 4 full tire stop and a full tank of fuel for them. So Keith Mack will pick up some heavy, big position out there. Patrick Healy in the 5 electing not to take tires as they go 2 by 2 throughout the field to line up once again. Patrick Healy, Keith Mack on the front row. Carter Wilson, Ricky Arbeau in the second row. Jake Goodwin, Steve Matthews, Ronnie McKay, Mike Alexander, Mike Rhino, Kevin Savory. Your top 10 as we get ready to go back green flag racing in just half a lap.
And I'll tell you what, that pace car looking to come down pit road one more time here. And we get to green flag here again here at South Boston Speedway, looking for an awesome start here as Keith Mack will pick up this green flag here just momentarily. So it looks like they've thrown the yellow one more time here, Joe.
Throwing the yellow one more time to get everybody lined up once again. Luke Kaisi is going to be black flagged out there. Not sure exactly why he's going to get black flagged, but that will potentially move him out of position. Pace car now down on pit road, and Patrick Healy gets the big jump. He will take the lead away on lap 40 of 200, 1/5 of the race all the way through. But now here comes the 22 of Keith Mack. He has 2 tires on the outside. He's got a little bit more grip on the 5, and he makes a big move on the outside. The 22 now in the lead. Your third lead change of the night. The 61 is second. Almost big trouble as the 27 and 5 almost get locked up in turns 1 and 2. Now the 5 in trouble as he's getting passed in a hurry by everybody who can find him.
Ricky Arbeau all over the bumper of the 22 machine for now, but I'll tell you what, Ricky Arbeau looking for a way around as Carter Wilson in a 27 machine trying to get up to the bumper to get in the mix here, but he's got about a 5 or 6 car length spread here from the 2 leaders up here, but Arbeau all over the bumper of the 22 machine.
So the 22 machine continues to lead out there. Keith Mack, Ricky Arbeau immediately behind him. These two guys getting ready for a major dogfight. Top 5 behind him, all in line, waiting to pick up the scraps.
You bet. And I tell you, things have pretty much straightened out here. Single file all the way back to the back here. The 5 machine back here, that's Patrick Healy. Remember, he was involved in that caution here just moments ago. As the 88 of Kevin Savory works his way around back here in 12th position. 45 laps in the books here at South Boston Speedway. Joe, let's go ahead and take a break. Watching live, ETVLive, Cowboy. It's the only choice, so don't wander off, Cowboy. We'll be right back.
It's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Drivers, start your engines!
Michael Conti comes up at a corner number 4, and the checkered flag, he wins his first NASCAR iRacing.
Inside SimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
It is the Maritime iRacing League GoTire HRM 250. You're watching two different battles right now. The first is as soon as we went to break, Ricky Arbeau able to get the lead away from Keith Mack. You're watching that on the replay screen. Now live, you're watching the 48, the 97, and the 98 all do battle for positions 3 through 5. That's Jake Goodwin up in front of that pack. Ronnie McKay, your points leader, now up to 4th. And Steve Matthews on the 98. He started on the outside. He started within spinning distance of the pole. He's now all the way back to 5th, but he's working closely with that 97 to try to get the move back up front and moving forward. 61, though, of Ricky Arbeau. He has checked out on this field. Lap 60 of 250. He is nowhere to be found, and he's actually got some lap traffic giving him a hand out there. He just got around the 6 machine of Nathan Doherty, about to get around the 11 of Vic Greenwood once again. Vic Greenwood will lose his lap once more, and now in front of him, the 45 machine. That's Mackenzie Brewer, the young one, Tracy Foster, the 55, and Patrick Healy, who started this restart on the lead, about to go one lap down to the 61.
I'll tell you what, watching the 97 back here in 4th position, he's being pressured by the 98 of Stephen Matthews. These guys are sitting back here in 4th and 5th position. McKay must be feeling the pressure. I think every time he looks up in that mirror, he gets out of shape in the turns here a little bit. So the 98 just patiently sitting back here, waiting for that one little mistake to happen, and he'll take it on the inside here. But the lap traffic now in the play here with the 11 up on the outside of the 98 here. That's going to be Vic Greenwood going down another lap here. So I tell you what, as the laps continue here at southbound to the Speedway, these guys, and 98 gets out of shape. Stephen Matthews almost losing it here, going into turn 3, off of turn 4, next to the 55, or actually turn 2, with the 55 up on top. Lap traffic now playing a part in this deal here now, guys.
Watching the 5 machine, that's Patrick Healy. He does not want to give up position. He is in the racing groove, and he is telling drivers, you got to fight to get around me. The 48 about to do just that. Jake Goodwin gets around. The 97 of Ronnie McKay gets around. The 98 also gets around. Patrick Healy obviously still very not happy. You can see him in that second line. Not happy at all about having to give up position and having to move towards the back of the field one lap down, but that's also what the risk you take when you don't come down pit road with the rest of the leaders. Your top 5 now in clear sailing for the time being, and still the 61 on a time zone of his own. The 22 of Keith Mack over a second behind. He needs to figure out something to catch up with that 61 machine. The battle really is now between 3rd, 4th, and 5th, as you see Jake Goodwin, the 48, the 97 of Ronnie McKay, and the 98 of Steve Matthews get around lap traffic. These guys are going to be the ones battling for position sooner rather than later.
There was quite a mess back here, about 7th position or so. A lot of lap traffic in the way of Mike Rhino. Rhino able to get around, navigate his way through. He's sitting back here in 7th position, so solid top 10 for now, but only 70 laps in the book so far here. So we got a lot of laps to go here, as the fans are really having a good time here now. As I said, I think we might have had that one and only caution that we'll see for a long time. As these guys start, they have the look, Joe, of getting settled in here for a little bit. I think we're going to see some long green flag runs here. No pressure being put on anybody. Mackenzie Brewer up here, 14th position in a 45 car, just letting the faster traffic go there down below. That's the 11, Vic Greenwood next to him.
So, JD, your prediction on the beginning of the race has sort of come to fruition. Only one caution flag so far, 4 lead changes throughout the night. Ricky Arbeau has led the majority of the laps out there in that 61 machine. And to be honest with you, I have a hard time seeing anybody who's going to keep up with him. He continues to dig away at the lead he has. Keith Mack now 1.3 seconds away, and every time they go around, Keith Mack's hole gets just a little bigger every time. Your top 5 now all in clear sailing. The 48, the 97, 98 all have had clean runs so far, and all these guys 4 tires for this next 5 right here. The 22 machine of Keith Mack only took 2 tires on that last stop, so I have to be wondering if that 2-tire stop is starting to hurt Keith Mack a little bit out there as he's trying to dig with no avail whatsoever.
Tim Terry sitting back here in the 75 machine, 12th position for him, still on the lead lap, but just barely. I got a funny feeling Ricky Arbeau set his sight on that purple number 75 machine here tonight, and looking for another lap here. But Ricky Arbeau out in front, like you say, pretty much a time zone away, as you said, Joe. And but he's got his own. He may be 1.5 seconds out in front of Mack. However, he's got some lap traffic that he's got to deal with, so he's got to stay sharp and pay attention. That lap traffic, more obstacles out here for him to navigate around. So as easy as it might be out in front by 1.5 seconds, he's got his work cut out for him.
Those lap cars looking like moving roadblocks out there, as he's got to figure out a way to navigate with and around them. And if something should happen, if a pass should go wrong, if a line should get cut, that could mean the end of his night, as these cars aren't known for being the most durable things on four wheels. Arbeau now starting to get close to the number 4 of Luke Caisi. He's going to be one lap down in just a moment. You see fender damage on the 4 machine. Not sure what happened to him, but that's not a good look. In that group as well, Tim Terry in the pink machine, in the pink and purple machine. He better get this pink Nikes on and start moving if he wants to hold on to that 12th place position and continue to battle. Tim Terry in the 75 gets around the 33. Doug Hubhley nowhere to go, so Tim Terry scored in the 11th place position. I think he sees the leader coming. He's got the pink Nikes going. He wants to get the top 10 before the leader catches him.
You bet. And let's go back to I guess we're going to go into the bumper cam of Tim Terry, and he's looking at the bumper of the 00 of Landry. Landry going up to the top here to let the 75 go, but not so easily as Terry fights hard down here on the bottom to get around the 00 of Martin Landry. Landry still duking it out up there on the top. These two cowboys fighting to stay on this lead lap here, as it looks like Tim Terry is going to get the better of it. He's going to put Landry down one more here.
So Ricky Arbeau gets between the fight of the 75 and the 00. He will continue to lead this race. He has scored on lap 85. Time ticking away at this race out here. Ricky Arbeau now putting a lot of lap cars between him, but the harder he has to fight to get around those lap traffic cars, the easier it is for the guys behind him to start catching up to him. Now you see the 22 machine. That's Keith Mack getting around the 75 of Tim Terry. He's going to lead all of your leaders right now. Interesting fact right now, only the top 9 cars remain on the lead lap. All the rest of the competitors at least one lap down on this field. So Carter Wilson right now is the only other car, is the last car on the lead lap. He has currently scored 9th, and he is quite a ways away from your leader, so he is in very little danger of losing that lap. But if he does lose that lap, it could be catastrophic for his run.
Watching Martin Landry up here in the 00, almost losing it. He takes a souvenir off the wall, and you're on the back stretch here a little bit. So Landry trying to maintain here, and just going down a lap here just a little bit ago. Now Carter Wilson is the last one on the lead lap. Let's go all the way back to 22nd position. Luke Caisi, 15 laps down, spent considerable time in pit road doing a lot of repair on that machine. You can see, if we can get a shot at the rear bumper, the right rear of the machine is absolutely caved in, and the front end is completely out of tow. But I'll tell you what, you talk about perseverance, Luke Caisi out here getting the job done. He's 15 laps down, but still hanging out, turning those laps.
Almost trouble between the 45 Mackenzie Brewer and the 27 of Carter Wilson. Carter Wilson knows that he's got to start passing some cars if he wants to stay in the lead lap. The 61 starting to get close here. Let's see if we can take the blimp cam to see just how tight the battle is between the 27 and the 45. The 45 didn't let him have it this time by, it looks like, and only 4 cars away. Well, actually 3 cars away is the 61 of Ricky Arbeau. Arbeau gets around another lap car. That's going to be the 16 of Brandon Campbell, who just made contact with the 88 3 laps ago. The 61 of Arbeau now hot in a hurry, going to get around Mackenzie. The number 24 machine now looking to block him a little bit. That's Mark Williams. Mark Williams not going to let 61 get around. The 61, I guarantee you, none too happy about it.
You bet, and that's going to bring Keith Mack even closer. Arbeau having about a 1.5 second lead there for a little while. Keith Mack has closed that distance now just over a 0.5 second as the 61 works through that lap traffic, or at least tries to work through that lap traffic. And of course, coming along with Keith Mack, Jake Goodwin, not far off either in a 48 machine. He's my number. I'll tell you what, Cowboy, I did call Las Vegas. I put a bundle on the 48 tonight, so we'll see if we can get the job done.
You ride on board with the 61 machine on the split screen there, and Ricky Arbeau having no problems getting around the 24. It's a boon for the 22 and the 48. Keith Mack and Jake Goodwin both getting a big advantage out of that. Now we have a race once again between your top two. Keith Mack back on the bumper, 61. Caution out, though, on the track, and I'm not exactly sure where it started. It will be your second caution flag of the evening.
It's going to be the 16 machine back here, guys, and I believe he might have had some help. Let's take it back and roll it around here. 16, that's going to be Brandon Campbell back here. Actually, it looks like back end just gets it loose on him, comes around, and then he gets plowed into, well, now I can't see who that was. Might have been the 00, Martin Landry involved in this.
It is the 16, the 00, the 33, and 6, all getting some damage as a result of that solo spin by the 16 of Brandon Campbell. It will be the 00, though, Martin Landry, who walks away from that smoking, and he is going to pull it behind the garage. He is done for the night. Pit road, a very busy place. Arbeau on pit road. Goodwin, Matthews, Keith Mack, all on pit road right now. Looks like your top 8, your top 9, all to the attention of their crews. And once again, it will not be Keith Mack, but Ricky Arbeau getting the jump off pit road. Keith Mack goes off second. It'll be Jake Goodwin third, Steve Matthews fourth, and Ronnie McKay walks away with a top 5. Or walks away in the top 5 as a result of that pit stop. So with all these guys working to get sorted out on lap 98, let's go ahead and step away from the microphone and take a quick commercial break. You are watching the Maritime iRacing League GoTire HRM 250 live from South Boston Speedway on ETVLive.
Plus other listeners where you could hear everything from big 80s metal to classic rock and roll, country radio, ETVLive sports radio, even adult and unplugged rock and roll. HDRadioNetwork.com, one of the fastest growing internet radio networks, HDRadioNetwork.com. Take it with you, cowboy. Get the mobile app for Android, iPhone, iPad, and all the rest from TuneIn.com. If you're a serious online racing enthusiast, you need Derek Spear Design, maker of high-quality, custom-built, and 50-caliber strong simulation racing products like button boxes, shifter pedals, component parts, and more. The advantage a championship sim racing driver needs. Rated 10 out of 10 by Inside Sim Racing TV. Check out his line of top-shelf sim racing products reasonably priced at DerekSpearDesigns.com and buckle in for a no-nonsense ride. DerekSpearDesigns.com today, cowboy.
Welcome back to ETVLive's live coverage of. Welcome back. Ricky Arbeau restarts the field on lap 103. Still plenty of time to make a run out here. Keith Mack in second. Steve Matthews now third. And guess who gets a big jump? Ronnie McKay, the 97 machine, is in fourth. Jake Goodwin in the 48. He's forced to come back down pit road this last time by to get a little bit more work on that 48 machine. He came back down pit road. Restart eighth. Now is in fifth. Jake Goodwin gets a big jump, but Ronnie McKay, the big winner in that one, as he takes away his position easily. Now looks like he's dirt tracking it a little bit on that apron. Ronnie McKay looking for another win. He's won 2 of 3 races out here so far. He's looking for number 3 of 4 tonight.
McKay seems to be hitting the marks here just perfectly. Watching that number 97 machine back here in fourth position. You know, he seems to be really paying attention to where his marks are on the track. Seems to be getting into the turns, expertly getting off and just kind of riding it out here. On the other hand, Steve Matthews just had the 98. Seeing him getting just a little bit squirrely coming off the turns here. Doesn't look like he's getting a good entry in, but the banking certainly going to help him turn here just a little bit. But Matthews looks like he may be having some handling issues here. 108 laps in the race here, guys.
Let's go ahead and go on board right now with the 97 machine of Ronnie McKay as you see him running through the field here. He's trying to do everything he can to pick up his third win on the series. Only 2 winners so far this year in the Maritime iRacing League. One of them, Dylan Duvall, a name you've heard often in the iRacing DWC, the NASCAR Series World Championship. The other is the number 97 of Ronnie McKay. He's picked up 2 wins in this series, 2 wins out of 3 races. Tonight wants to add a crown jewel to his resume in this year's racing season and wants to make it 3 of 4. But the problem is for Jake Goodwin in 5th, he is over 2 seconds away from your leader, who has once again just broken away from the rest of the field. Keith Mack following him into battle. 2 seconds between Ricky Arbeau and Steve Matthews back in 3rd.
You bet. And Joe, let's throw a big shout out to J.D. Laird, race official here for the race tonight at South Boston Speedway. J.D. along for the ride with the MIRL Maritime iRacing League here as a race officiator. He's down in the tower keeping an eye on things here tonight for South Boston Speedway. So a big shout out to J.D. Laird.
Your other administrator on track right now, that's Tim Terry in the pink 75 machine. He's all the way up in 8th, trying to fight off Carter Wilson for that last spot on the lead lap. Mark Williams in 24, 1 lap down. He is currently in 10th. The 27 of Carter Wilson has no problem dispatching the 75 of Tim Terry. Tim Terry now the last remaining car on the lead lap. He is the last of the survivors, and if he doesn't be careful, he might get swallowed up by the leaders very, very quickly. 61 now back in traffic, getting around the 11 of Vic Greenwood.
And Tim Terry is about 7 seconds off the leaders up here. That's about half a track as they turn about 16 and some change lap times here at South Boston Speedway. So just a matter of time. He's got to work hard to stay on that lead lap. Carter Wilson, he's just ahead in the 27 machine. Carter Wilson under fire as well. He's almost 6.9, let's call it 7 seconds back of the leaders up here. And all these guys struggling to stay on the lead lap. But I tell you what, in the meantime, Ricky Arbeau out here in front, he is just absolutely set sail. But he's bringing Keith Mack in that 22 machine with him this time around. It's, Mack, I think, was closing in on Arbeau before we had that caution. And, of course, Arbeau having to work around lap traffic, that brought Keith Mack just a little bit closer, and then the caution came out. Of course, that grouped them all up. At 22, working hard to stay on the bumper of the 61 machine here at South Boston.
Let's give you an idea of how big these gaps actually are as we look at the walk-ins here at South Boston Speedway. You see Ricky Arbeau and Keith Mack in the 61 and the 22. Huge gap between them is a 98 of Stephen Matthews. That on track, that's what about a second and some change looks like. You see the 5 of Patrick Healy and the 97 machine of Ronnie McKay get by you as well. And that's what about 3 seconds look like. So yeah, 3 seconds when we talk about it on here may not sound like a whole lot, but on track, 3 seconds might as well be an eternity. The number 11 of Rick Greenwood once again almost bought the farm as he was forced up high. The 5 in front of him, Patrick Healy, almost bought the wall as well. Both those drivers able to keep it clean and keep it moving in the right direction. Yellow flag remains in the flagman stand. Ricky Arbeau continues to lead. Here comes the 22 of Keith Mack right behind him. The 45 of Mackenzie Brewer. He almost comes down pit road. He isn't going to do it this time by, but he and the 54 both slowed up inside.
22 Keith Mack, he's getting in and getting off expertly, biding his time here, and I think this is the part where I said earlier, this is that long green flag run part. I hope I did the whole darn thing here with that comment, but the 22 of Keith Mack, remember he was closing the distance here. He's he started out here after we've got the restart, staying with the 61 Arbeau up there, keeping him in touch with the 22. And I tell you, the 22 is just getting in and getting off. Really not giving the 61 a whole lot of thought, I don't think, at this time. 126 laps in the books, just past the halfway point here at South Boston Speedway. So 22 car of Keith Mack, he's got a long ways to go here. He can just kind of settle in here for a little bit and let it ride.
Carson Aoud will go ahead and pull it behind the wall in the 54 machine. Go ahead and score him in 20th position tonight at the GoTire HRM 250. No crown jewel for that team, which I know they're all very disappointed about. Ricky Arbeau continues to lead. Keith Mack 0.3 of a second behind him. And then the real battle now is between that third, fourth, and fifth position as these guys are scattered like pool balls around the track. It really is tonight a battle of the haves and the have-nots as your top three really getting a huge breakaway over the rest of the field. Ronnie McKay on an island right now, not really caught up in the top three, but no one behind him to battle, which makes it a whole lot easier for him. Behind him, Jake Goodwin, the 48 machine, is fifth. Jake Goodwin almost gets loose going through turns 3 and 4 out there. The 48, I'm trying to check out 1 and 2. The 48 able to run out there real easy. You see on screen right now the full running order, the cars that remain on the field anyways, and the gaps between them. The 48 machine, huge gap between him and the rest of the field. Now the 15 of Mike Alexander challenging for that fifth place position. JD, I know you put a lot of money on that 48 machine, but you might want to reconsider your investment option.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I figured the 48 number was pretty good in one race. You ought to be good in these late model things. But I'll tell you, Jake Goodwin struggling out here as we've got another wreck happening here. I'm hearing the 24 machine is around as we roll it back here and see what happened. And definitely the 24 around, but I think he had some help. Might have come out of the 5 machine here, the 05 car of Todd Cousins, helping the 24 around here, Joe.
Looks like a big checkup. The 88 checks up going into the turn. The 24, nowhere to go, checks up immediately behind him. And the 5 of Todd Cousins also gets around him as well. So Mark Williams will be spun around, and he will lose a lot of position as well. Pace, yellow flag out for the third time tonight as cars now going down pit road to the end of their cruise. It'll be the 61 of Ricky Arbeau leading him down. Keith Mack in, the number 98 machine in, the 48, the 97, all to the attention of their crews.
Watching the 61 here in the pit box, and the right side comes up. It'll be a couple of new shoes on the right side of the 61 car, Ricky Arbeau, and the left side. So it's going to be a 4-tire change for the 61 machine. Keith Mack also 4 new shoes and a bucket of oats for that machine of his. Stephen Matthews, he'll get 4 new shoes and a bucket of oats in the 98. Pit road, looks like Ricky Arbeau is the first one off.
So Ricky Arbeau will continue to lead this field. Keith Mack should be plus or minus second, and a lot of other guys jockeying for position. And I think we've seen a lot of this race won and lost and positions exchange on pit road. It's something we talked about in the pre-race show. And so far, JD, you're not wrong.
Well, I don't know about that. I'm not much of a commentator when it comes to the short track stuff. I'm still rather new, but I got Father Eddie teaching me about everything I need to know about short track racing. I love this stuff. I love the door banging, bumper slamming kind of racing that this stuff does. To me, that's real honest to God, all out competition, and that's what I come to see.
2 cars making the 2-tire risk out there. Mike Alexander in the 15 machine. He only took 2 tires, 10.9 seconds on pit road. Also only electing to take 2 tires was the 75 of Tim Terry. He will restart 4th on this field. Tim Terry said he was looking for a Hail Mary in tonight's race. He looks like he's looking for it in a big way as they get double filed. We should be back to green flag racing in about a lap and a half, maybe half a lap if they don't throw the yellow flag once again. So Mike Alexander will lead this field. Ricky Arbeau second. Keith Mack, Tim Terry, your second row. Steve Matthews, Kevin Saver, your third row. And behind them, Ronnie McKay all the way back to 7th. Jake Goodwin in the 48th all the way back to the 8th place position. Pace car out of the way. Green flag flies, and here comes Mike Alexander. Big lead, big jump on the field. The 61, Ricky Arbeau, stuck on the outside as we got 3 wide racing around the 75.
22 staying on the bottom here, not trying to keep that hole filled up with Mike Alexander, not wanting to give a hole open to the 61 machine. That's Ricky Arbeau up on the top, still trying to fight back on the top side back here. But I'll tell you what, the Stephen Matthews machine, the 98 machine coming along, seeing all that happen up there, looks like he might have a shot at something here if Arbeau and Mack keep duking it out up here. But I'll tell you what, the 22 machine is trying to cover that bottom and not let the 61 down to try to go after Alexander, who is on the throttle and on the verge of checking out here as much as Arbo did here earlier. So Keith Mack doing a fine job keeping the 61 at bay. How long will it last?
The 15 of Mike Alexander as you ride on board the 98 machine. The 15, Mike Alexander leads. Let's go on board the 98 of Steve Matthews. You see the battle just brewing right there between the 61 and the 22. The 98 giving the 22 a hand. Now 22 wants to go high. Is the 98 debating going low? The 98's going to get on the inside of the 61 of Ricky Arbo. Arbo not strong on that outside line at all. You see him just literally giving position up to the 98 machine, and now there's a 97 of Ronnie McKay behind him, also looking for that position as well. The 61 being locked out of that low line. As soon as he thinks he's going to get in, someone else pulls in right underneath him, as we now have a challenge for the lead. The 15 and 22 battling for the lead up front. Give it to Keith Mack. It'll be his first lead of the night.
I tell you what, quite a battle shaping up back here around 5th position or so as well. Ronald McKay finally showing his stuff here, duking it out with the 61. 61 gets the better, but our boat drops to the bottom up here. Oh, almost getting sideways. He gets it back. Ricky Arbo almost losing the car here. He's got Mike Alexander out in front. Arbo, once the leader here, has now fallen victim to Keith Mack, Stephen Matthews, and Mike Alexander. So this might be trouble time for the 61 machine. Ronald McKay also putting the pressure on that 61 as well. This is starting to shape up like the race I came to see, Joe.
Even Matthews now starting to tighten the screws on the 22 machine of Keith Mack. Keith Mack looking to do everything he can to keep his lead. Now about a car length between him, but the 98 not willing to give it up. He drives it hard into the corner, into that U-shaped corner, and is able to get right back on the back bumper. 102 laps left to go in the night's feature. The 22 and 98 battling back and forth in first and second. Now here comes Ricky Arbo back from the back panels. He is moving towards the front of the field, gets around the 15. The 97 machine of Ronnie McKay also looking to get around the 15 of Mike Alexander. The 97 in trouble, gets sideways, coming off of 1 and 2. Not able to make the pass, so Ronnie McKay is going to have to wait for that door to open one more time.
The 98 almost looks like he's giving the bumper to the 22 here, saying, hey, cowboy, I'm right here. These two are hooked. I tell you what, you talk about being bred to the hips here. They are just absolutely hooked up here. Keith Mack trying to hold off that number 98 machine. Stephen Matthews doing everything he can to upset the 22 car out in front here. Giving the bumper to the 22, looking to the inside here. Can't get the job done. I tell you what, this is really shaping up to be quite the race. And I tell you, this is, I think, what the fans come to watch here, Cowboy. Ricky Arbo back here in the 61 machine, trying to fight back. He was the leader of this gang here when we came to South Boston. But Arbo's got his work cut out for him now as the 15 machine of Mike Alexander tries to work his way up to the front and play with these top three guys. Ronald McKay, on the other hand, the 97 car, let's talk about him for a minute, Joe. He has just been doing everything he can do, including getting his car sideways off the turn to try to get up there and play with Keith Mack and Stephen Matthews.
The 97 doing everything he can. He lost a lot of position when he got it sideways, trying to get around the 15. So now he's got to climb that mountain all over again. But Ronnie McKay already has 2 wins under his belt out here, or out in the Maritime iRacing League. If anyone's capable of making it number 3, it's Ronnie McKay. And then there's Jake Goodwin in the 48 machine. He's currently scored 2 seconds down, quite a bit away from your leader, but he's still holding strong in 6th, still on the lead lap. You see the 48 get around the 33 machine. That's Doug Ubley up in the wall there. Jake Goodwin, he's not leaving anytime soon. He's still a threat to win this race. You might get your money back after all, JD.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. The 48 machine of Jake Goodwin back here in 6th position. He may be just riding it out here for just a little bit, but I'll tell you what, the battle continues up in front, 2 by 2 for the lead up here. The 98 machine also in the mixer, under fire here. Keith Mack back here with Ricky Arbo. I'll tell you what, these guys are putting on a hell of a show here at South Boston.
From the penthouse to the doghouse, Keith Mack goes from 1st to 3rd. Now he's going to fight back that 61 machine, try to get at least some position back on that duo. Keith Mack, no dice though right now. He's going to have to bide his time and wait for the right move to happen. Ricky Arbo now about 4 car lengths behind the 98 machine of Stephen Matthews. This is the first time the 98 has led all night tonight. Ricky Arbeau in the 61, though, he won't have it. He wants to get the lead back. He wants it in a big way. Time ticking down now. 90 laps as they cross the line left in tonight's feature. Stephen Matthews has a big lead. Has about 4 car lengths between him and the 61. Can he hold on to it, though?
I'll tell you what, check back here about 5th position. The 15 car, that's Mike Alexander up on top. He's got the 48, a good one coming alongside. 15 car takes a little piece of the wall there. That's a souvenir sitting on that passenger seat. But I'll tell you what, Jake Goodwin putting the coals to the motor here at South Boston overtakes Mike Goodwin 4th position. Now staring at the bumper of the 97, Ronald McKay in front.
Stephen Matthews continues to run out front. Ricky Arbeau second. Keith Mack starting to fade away very, very quickly. And now here comes Ronnie McKay. He picks up position. He's now in 4th in the 97 machine. Jake Goodwin in the 48th coming along for the ride. He's now in 5th. Still anybody's race as they battle with lap traffic. Steve Matthews now has the big run in front of him. But Ricky Arbeau still hanging tough. Still wants to make the run work. Not there, however. Still not making it work. Ricky Arbeau needs some help in a big way to get back up front, but there's no way anyone can help him. Luke Caisi in the 4 machine, he's in no condition to help. So the 61, if he can't get some help, he's going to try to do it himself, which I don't think he can do. Steve Matthews now looking really strong on the field.
You bet. And but here comes Ricky Arbeau, managed to get up here into 2nd position here, so it's just a matter of time. However, the 98 machine does have some clear sailing. He's got one obstacle out in front as the 5 machine pulls up out of the way, giving him the bottom lane. So Patrick Healy moves up out of position, and that gives the run to the 98. But Ricky Arbeau back here in the 61 machine, keeping an eye on things up there in front. Let's take a check on my car, the 48 car. That's Jake Goodwin still hauling ass here in the 5th position. But I tell you what, tonight is not over for him yet. 168 laps in the book here at South Boston. A 22 car up on the outside as Jake Goodwin tries to get another position here at South Boston. And it looks like he's going to get it when he crosses the stripes.
League leader Tim Terry in the 75 machine. That pink and purple 75 machine needs some help. He is the last car on the lead lap, and Stephen Matthews and company are coming for him in a hurry, less than a turn away from that 75 machine. Tim Terry not going to be able to hold the lead lap. He will get lapped in the next, let's say, 3 laps, unless something crazy and catastrophic happens here on the track. Stephen Matthews still a stranglehold on the lead. Ricky Arbeau not going to let him go, though. He's still tagging along about 6 car lengths between the 61 and the 98. The best thing to that is to the 61 right now and the 75, a yellow flag.
A yellow flag. That's what they're hoping and praying for, but I don't know if it's going to come out or not. We've seen some pretty long green flag runs there. That last one just probably a bonehead move. A little bit too fast going into the turns. Helped the car around that, brought out the yellow. But I'll tell you what, for right now, I got a funny feeling we're staring at some long green flag runs here at South Boston. So the rundown looks like this with Matthews out in front, Ricky Arbeau, Ronald McKay, Jake Goodwin doing an outstanding job. Of course, that's my car, Cowboy, and Keith Mack having to go all the way back here to 5th position after leading here for a few laps on the restart.
With a long green flag run ahead of us and plenty of time left in the race, let's go ahead and take a quick commercial break. You are watching ETVLive's live coverage of the Maritime iRacing League GoTire HRM 250 live from South Boston. Stephen Matthews continues to lead. How long can he hold it?
Hey, JD here with ETVLive, and let me tell you something. If it's too big for the pickup truck and you need to move it, there's only one trucking company you need to call, and don't bother with the Yellow Pages, cowboy. I'll give you that number in a minute. Manufactured goods, automotive, technical equipment, furniture, even if you need a reefer, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated is the only choice, cowboy. With locations in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, Rancho Cucamonga, California, if you need to move it, store it, and keep it cold, you need to call Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated. Long haul, short haul, or just across town, Gary Mercer has the best trained and qualified drivers to get your load from point A to point B with professionalism and on time. So remember, Hoss, if it don't fit in a pickup truck, you're going to need a real truck, cowboy. Sponsors of ETVLive's Friday Night Showdown, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated, 1-800-668-2980.
Less than 70 laps remain here in the Maritime iRacing League. GoTire HRM 250. And one of the men that are holding tough in this race right now is the 11 of Vic Greenwood. He's 2 laps down, but he remains in the top 10 right now. And the way he's cruising along, he could very well secure himself a big top 10 finish tonight, which would be a big boost to him in the points race.
Vic Greenwood in the number 11 machine really doesn't have any competition as of yet. Hey, you never know, cowboy. This is short track racing here. And the only other car 1 lap down is Tim Terry. Of course, he got that here just a little while ago. So Tim Terry now finds himself a little behind the 8 ball here at South Boston Speedway. Carter Wilson now occupies that last car on the lead lap. He's in the 27 machine in 8th position. 8 cars on the lead lap here as we put 188 laps in the books here at South Boston Speedway. I'll tell you what, this has been some great racing here all night long.
Meanwhile, up front, Ronnie McKay, who is your points leader and has won 2 of the last 3 races, is now moved up to second. He dispatched Ricky Arbeau about a lap and a half ago, and now he's on a tear up front. He is catching Stephen Matthews in a hurry. I think Ronnie McKay saved up his gear a little bit and started really making a big move up front, and has really started to just run that car for everything it's worth. Time is running out on the track, 60 to go at this juncture. Ronnie McKay wants to lead the next 60 laps and make it 3 for 4 in the Maritime iRacing League. Can he do it, though? That's the big question. As you've seen, the number 98 of Stephen Matthews getting through lap traffic there, gets around the 33 of Doug Hubhley one more time. Steve Matthews has got the car to beat right now. Can Ronnie McKay get around it?
Watching the 22 machine back here, Joe, that's Keith Mack. Remember Keith Mack had a shot at the front row up here, but lost it after a restart here a few laps ago, actually quite a few laps ago. But Keith Mack seems to be struggling. Car looks like it's tightening up on him quite a bit. He's not hitting his marks on the entry of the turns, and it looks like he's missing it by a mile on the exit here. But 22 showing signs of getting a little out of shape here as he struggles to try to maintain here. Keith Mack falling victim to Mike Alexander up there in 5th place. So Mack, who was up in front, now going backwards here at South Boston. We'll see if he can hang on to a top 10 finisher.
We'll have to see how that all plays together here. Now Stephen Matthews, Ronnie McKay getting closer and closer. Last time around, the number 97 was about 5/100ths of a second faster than the 98 machine. So the 97 of Ronnie McKay is starting to reel in that 98 of Steve Matthews. Then there's Ricky Arbeau, who was your leader for so long. He's trying to reel him in as well. Problem is he's got lap traffic in front of him. He's got Patrick Healy in the 5 immediately in front of him. He needed Kevin Savory in front of him as well. He needs to dispatch those 2 cars in a hurry, get some clean air in front of that 61 machine, and really start making the move. Up front, 97, 98 battling side by side. You are watching the battle for the lead. The 98 under fire of 97. They make contact door to door. 98 right now your leader, but the 97 of Ronnie McKay immediately on his bumper. He did steal the lead for 1 lap that time after contact was made, and he's forced to give it up. 98 and 97 getting ready to show some muscle.
And the 27 machine up there on the top, that's the obstacle that they faced. That's Carter Wilson up there, who just went down a lap. And I'll tell you what, did not get the opportunity to the 97 to get around McKay, having to get off the throttle as they both approach that lap car. But I'll tell you what, McKay and Matthews still duking it out up there in front. The 97 of Ronald McKay just getting in and getting off here, as it looks like Stephen Matthews into the wall here, collects a souvenir I tell you what, Matthews looking on the inside, or McKay looking on the inside here, trying to get after the 98 car up here. But I tell you what, these Cowboys are putting on a heck of a show. In the meantime, Ricky Arbeau, he's watching all that happening up in front, hoping for a caution up here that might get him another opportunity at the front row.
98, 97, once again back at it side by side. The 97 on the back bumper of that 98 machine you rode in car just a moment ago with the 97 machine of Ronnie McKay. Ronnie McKay still trying to make some big moves out there, trying to get around Steve Matthews. Steve Matthews will have none of it. He is using the apron if he has to keep the 97 behind him. Look who's also in the mix once again. Ricky Arbeau in the 61 machine. Where did he come from? Out of left field. He's now battling with these guys for the lead. Less than 50 laps to go in this race, and it is still anybody's race.
Anybody's race. I'll tell you what, yeah, we did boast about putting some money on the 48 machine here tonight, but I'll tell you what, it ain't over yet. Cowboys 15 of Mike Alexander goes around the 88 machine. Alexander showing signs of a little bit of tightness here too late in the game. 205 in the books here at South Boston Speedway. We are definitely on the downhill side of things now, and I think this is the point where these Cowboys are going to start really letting those ponies run here as we see these guys start to put the pressure on each other. Ronald McKay up here in front, the 97, keeping the pressure boiling all over the back bumper of that 98 machine. It's just a matter of time here, Joe.
You are watching the bumper cams with the 98 seeing in his rearview mirror what the 97 sees in front of him right now on screen, and it is a contentious battle. The 98 and the 97 still doing battle, still not giving an inch, still making each other feel the presence of the other. And then there's a 61 of Ricky Arbeau. Laura, let's see if we can get a camera inside the 61 machine so you can see what he's seeing right now. He is waiting for opportunity to knock for him. He is waiting for this opportunity to show up. And if you see, and right now you see on board 61, Ricky Arbeau, all it takes is one of those two drivers to make a misstep, and the 61 gets a free position. Now he's just waiting to see which one's going to do it first.
Which one's going to do it first? And I'll tell you what, Steve Matthews, he's got to be looking in that rearview mirror, a few times here, because every time he does, it seems like the back end of his car gets out of shape just a little bit. Ronald McKay is certainly putting the pressure on everybody up here in front. Keith Mack still back here in sixth position in the 22 car with Carter Wilson, who is now in seventh position. So Keith Mack now finds himself the last car on the lead lap, almost half a track around from Stephen Matthews out in front. So once the leader, now the victim, Keith Mack, may be going down here lap. It's just a matter of time before Stephen Matthews comes around and picks him up.
Less than 40 laps to go at this juncture. It is Matthews in front. Ronnie McKay on his bumper. The 61 of Ricky Arbeau waiting for those guys to make a mistake. And then here's your guy, JD. Jake Goodwin in the 48 machine. He's found a way to catch up now a little bit. With that clean air in front of him, he's starting to dig a little bit and start driving the wheels off that 48 machine. And he's now starting to make some big moves to try to catch up to your top three. Mike Alexander, don't count him out. He's still in this picture as well. Currently running fifth. Keith Mack, the man who would be king, 8 seconds behind. No challenge for him. He will pick up a top 10 tonight, but it is not the top 10 he wanted after leading laps in this race. Stephen Matthews, Ronnie McKay still battling back and forth. Now have to yield a little bit as they pass the 34 machine of Mike Rangano, currently scored in 16th. He's going to go another lap down, score him 15 laps down as a result of this pass.
And the 34 machine just getting in the way just enough to allow the 61 to creep up on McKay and Matthews up here. So lap traffic does play a part. They're like an obstacle out here. These guys have to maneuver around. But I'll tell you what, Ronald McKay is either showing a whole lot of patience or he's still looking for that hole to get around the 98 machine up in front. But Arbeau, he sees these two guys going after it. I got a funny feeling Arbeau might be in the best position of all, because if anything happens, it'll probably happen in front of him, and that may put the 61 out in front.
I guarantee that is
All right, and it sounds like Joe, somebody must have tripped over Joe's microphone. That happens up here in the booth quite often. But we're keeping the tabs on the 98 and 97. They've been putting on the show here for about the last 40, 50 laps as we take a look at the door cam up here with these Cowboys. So, but I'll tell you what, Jake Goodwin in the 48 still dragging his heels back here a little bit. But I'll tell you what, caution. He may be doing a little bit of cautionary driving here as he sees what's going on up here in front. If something happens, Joe, I think it's going to happen up here in front, and that might even set the 48 in a good position. So the 48 and the 61, hoping something's going to happen up here to put them on the front row.
Less than 30 laps to go at this juncture. Matthews continues to lead. Ronnie McKay looking for any opening he has. 98 hits the wall hard. That could be the opening 97's looking for. He's going to get the nose in. Now they're side by side. Oh. 97 makes contact with a 98. 98 needed that contact. He's going to get back out front. The 98 able to save his position. But here now comes the 61 and the 48. That's the mistake they were waiting for. And like wolves looking at prey, they are waiting for to make the kill thrust and try to get some big position for them as well.
The smell of blood as we take a second look at the contact between these guys. The 4 played a part in that as well. That's going to be Luke Casey back here up against the wall. That was just another obstacle for these guys to get around. And I'll tell you what, McKay is still looking for the hole shot as the 98 takes another check out of the wall, and he's going around sideways. It's the 97 on the brake. Matthews able to hang on to it, keeps it straightened up. Oh, no, caution's got to come out. Oh, and the 61 in the wall.
Lots of drivers trying to figure out what the heck happened as a pace car now comes out. It all starts after you saw the 98 and 97 make contact with each other. The 55 and almost innocent victim in that one as well. The 98 trying to save it, trying to get back on track, makes contact with the 55. 55 hits the wall hard, nose first. That's Tracy Foster. He gets down into the 61 and the 48 machine. Heavy damage on both those cars. That could end the night of the 48 of Jake Goodwin and the 61 of Ricky Arbo after that damage. And the 98 also getting some damage on that one as well.
And the 15 of Mike Alexander squeaks by on the top. And I'll tell you what, Mike Alexander suddenly finds himself in the mix for a trophy here from South Boston Speedway. And I'll tell you what, upsetting news, the 98, the 97, and the 48 in big trouble here in the late goings here at South Boston Speedway.
Let's go ahead and take one more look exactly what happened there. It all started once again with a 98 and 97 making contact in turns 1 and 2. The 98, he did an excellent job of rescuing it, but in the attempt to rescue that machine and keep it going straight, nowhere for him to go, ends up into the 55 machine. 55 hits the wall hard, and he's going to make contact with the 61. 48 going to get a piece of that one as well. So all 3 of those cars, the 48, the 61, and the 98 of Stephen Matthews, all forced to come down pit road to get the attention of their crews, try to get some sheet metal repaired on that machine and keep them running forward as a result of that major incident which changed the complexion of the race entirely. JD, we talked about all it takes is one caution flag to change the entire race. Well, guess what? That caution flag changed it entirely. So now it's going to be Ronnie McKay on point. Keith Mack, who was challenging for laps earlier in the race, he's going to get a second shot at walking away with this one. And Mike Alexander in the 15 machine, he's also going to have a shot now as well. What was a 5-car battle is now effectively going to be a 3-car battle, maybe a 4-car battle if Jake Goodwin can get back in the mix.
Absolutely, and I'll tell you what, let's get our camera operator, Laura Lawson, to get a good, close, tight shot of the 98 as we take the green flag. Getting going here again in 98 in real serious trouble. The front end completely out of tow here as these guys cut loose up in front. Mack doing what he can to try to stay up with the 97, but the 97 is away. I'll tell you what, looking at a good finish here tonight as Mack tries to close the distance on the 97.
Ronnie McKay, huge jump out there as they continue to run. Keith Mack in second, and it looks like more trouble on the track out there as they slow it up. Not exactly sure what happened. All I know is that we got the pace car out one more time, and the fireworks starting to show off here at South Boston.
Yeah, it's the 4 car of Luke Casey back here, guys, that brought the caution out. Remember, he was involved in that one earlier. Actually, it may not be Casey.
No, check out, it was Casey in the 4 machine. He did go around. You're seeing it on the replay right now. The number 4 goes high on the restart. Nowhere to go, though. The car is loose with that back end severely punched in, and that will bring out the caution flag one more time, which is actually probably what these drivers needed to get these cars sorted out once again.
You bet. And my bad, I just had a screen pop up in front of my monitor here for some reason. That never happened before. But Luke Casey absolutely did bring that caution out. Now he's got, if you look at the back of his car, if we get a tight shot of that, now it looks pretty much, what would you call that, in design? That's going to be the 4 car of Luke Casey. He had some major damage to the right rear of the car. Now he's got identical damage on the left rear. So now it's, I don't know. Aerodynamic V-shaped rear end I'm hearing from the trailer down there. But I tell you what, Luke Casey with a lot of damage to the back end of that 4 machine here. But the complexion has changed, and it changed with the caution just before this one, Joe. And I tell you what, I got to throw a shout out to Mike Alexander. He saw that all happening out in front of him. Remember, he was in, I think, 4th or 5th position when that first yellow flag came out, and this was his whole shot when he saw that happen. So, but first he's got to get around Keith Mack. Keith Mack has been strong all night, and I think it was just running too hard here, that last run, that set him back. Remember, he had to lead up there on a restart, managed to lead a whole bunch of laps, but fell victim, I think, due to just wearing his stuff out. But he's got Ronald McKay to contend with now, and Jake Goodwin machine. His night's not over yet, Cowboy. 236 laps in the books here at South Boston Speedway.
Let's go ahead and go non-stop now with the driver of the 15 machine. That's Mike Alexander as they go back to green flag racing. These guys will not relent, and the 15 might have the front row view of everything going on. The 97 and 22 now side by side as they go into turn 3 and 4. The 97 Ronnie McKay has a jump, but here comes Keith Mack on the outside. Can Keith Mack make the pass? Survey says yes, and here comes JD's driver, the 48 machine of Jake Goodwin. He wants the position as well. The 97 driving up the hill. They are making contact side by side. 97-48 going to check out the rest of the field behind him. Nobody serious damage, but the 48 and 97 are not done fighting.
I tell you what, they are absolutely bringing out the big guns. The 48 on the bottom of the 97, looking for a little redemption here. The 97 getting a little bit rough here on the track. 97 up on the outside. The 40, that's Jake Goodwin down there on the bottom, has the advantage. These guys are still duking out here side by side. 240 laps in the books, 10 to go here at South Boston. Goodwin gets the run. He's going to put Ronald McKay, he's got his sights on the 15 of Mike Alexander up here in front. So Jake Goodwin on his way, trying to get the job done here at South Boston.
Score Jake Goodwin in the 3rd position as a caution flag comes out once again. And I'm not exactly sure what brought out this time around, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was another on-track incident. Very surprised the 48 and the 97 didn't bring it out. It's the 97 of Ronnie McKay now comes down to the attention of his pit crew.
All right, sounds like it's a 61 machine of Ricky Arbeau, possibly.
That sounds about right to me. The 61 of Ricky Arbeau involved in that incident. It was a 05 machine that got spun around and got right in front of the 61 of Ricky Arbeau. Todd Cousins once again getting around, but this time with the help of the 24 machine. That's Mark Williams. Mark Williams gets the 05 around, and Matt will put him right in front of the 61 of Ricky Arbeau. And Arbeau's front end heavily damaged. He might have to be forced to call it a night at this point.
And I thought I saw the pace car up into the wall too. So I'm not quite sure what's going on in the cockpit of that pace car, but he took quite a souvenir off the wall too.
You know what? It is short track racing. Everybody's going to get a piece of the wall tonight, whether you want one or not. Pace car included. It wouldn't surprise me if some of these guys try to run the pace car into the wall intentionally so they could keep racing.
Yeah, I see a few dings and dents on the front end of that pace car. He definitely smacked the wall pretty good there coming out of pit road. So, yeah, you're right, Joe. Everybody gets a piece of the action here.
Whether you want it or not, you're going to get a piece of the auction at the Sobo, South Boston. Keith Mack will restart in first. Mike Alexander, the 15, in second. And look who's now in third, the man who JD called at the beginning of the race. Jake Goodwin now back in third. Tim Terry will restart fourth. Stephen Matthews now in fifth. Ronnie McKay, Carter Wilson, Kevin Savory, Vic Greenwood, and Ricky Arbo round out your top 10. Pace car getting ready to get the heck out of the way. It'll be Mike Alexander who's the race to lead when we go back to pit road, or we go back to, green flag racing. It'll be about 5 to go, which means we'll have one more shot at the finish, at the green flag finish. If the white flag, yellow flag comes out again, that'll be the end of the race.
As we get ready to go green here, the 75 gets a boost, a little bit of help out of this 97 machine, but Tim Terry up here finds himself in a top 5 as we get the green flag side by side, the 22, the 15 on the bottom. This is Mike Alexander's chance. He's got to get it now, but the 22's got the advantage on the bottom, almost getting sideways off the turn, but the 15 powers through the top side up here. He will have the advantage coming off the turn down the backstretch, Joe. Move Mike Alexander to the front.
Mike Alexander makes the big move. He will lead lap 247, crossing the line 248, 4 to go.
97 going around. Ron and McKay going around back here on the backstretch.
The number 98 machine goes around, and that should bring out the yellow flag. No, it does not. We are still green flag racing.
And I believe it is over, Joe. I believe unofficially, I believe they are going to. The caution will fall here, and with 2 laps remaining, Joe, I believe unofficially the race is over. Xander possibly picking up the trophy.
White flag will fly this time by. White flag will show this time by, and that will be the end of the race. Mike Alexander has to make it around one more time. Keith Mack second, Jake Goodwin third. Tim Terry, where'd he come from?
Where did he come from? You know what? I swear I saw him a couple laps down, if anything. But I'll tell you what, he is absolutely overjoyed. I just had a note passed up from his pit crew down there. He's going to be doing donuts here tonight, too. Top 5 for Tim Terry at South Boston Speedway.
One more, that's it. The 15, unofficially your winner out here, Keith Mack in second, Jake Goodwin. Not winning the big prize for J.D. Webb, but hey, third place ain't bad. Tim Terry fourth, Ronnie McKay fifth, Steve Matthews finishes in sixth, Carter Wilson, Kevin Savory, Vic Greenwood, and Nathan Doherty round out your top 10 of the 24 cars that started here tonight at South Boston. Mike Alexander getting ready to light him up, and look who it is. Tim Terry gonna light him up as well right alongside him. Mike Alexander, your big winner here in South Boston. We will talk to your top 3 finishers and maybe even Tim Terry when we come back. We'll have to see how ecstatic he is, how celebratory he's feeling.
Absolutely. I tell you what, Tim Terry having an awesome run here tonight. Found himself almost a couple laps down here, struggling to try to stay on the lead lap to Alexander, Goodwin, all these guys up here. The 98 machine that unfortunately got caught up in the late caution here, Stephen Matthews. But Tim Terry certainly celebrating down there with Mike Alexander. What a night for that team, that 75 team for sure. But I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and step away. We'll take a commercial break. When we come back, post-race activities from South Boston Speedway with the Maritime iRacing League short track series here from South Boston. So we'll be right back.
Race fans, it's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Drivers, start your engines!
Checking up, go low, come on low, come on low, come on low, come on low, go low.
Michael Conti comes up at a corner number 4, and the checkered flag, he wins his first NASCAR iRacing.
InsideSimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
$250 laps in the books here at South Boston Speedway. It is officially or unofficially over. The Maritime iRacing League GoTire Mobile Tire Service 250. And what a race we saw tonight. Mike Alexander, your winner. Keith Mack in second. Jake Goodwin in third. Tim Terry, ecstatic to be in fourth. Ronnie McKay rounds out your top five. Stephen Matthews, Carter Wilson, Kevin Savory, Vic Greenwood, and Nathan Doherty rounds out your top 15. Only 7 cars finishing on the lead lap tonight. Just gives you an idea of how contentious the race was here in South Boston. Climbing out of his car, an ecstatic Mike Alexander in the 15 machine. Mike, what an incredible race. What an incredible finish. At what point were you looking front row to finish this race?
Well, I didn't expect this at all. I mean, we definitely didn't have a car to win. We had maybe a third or fourth place car, but the guys started roughing each other up there, and the cards just fell our way.
Mike, you were battling for position throughout the top 5 all evening. You said you didn't have a car to compete at this level, but you seemed to still be up front throughout the entire race. What was it about the car that you didn't like tonight?
It was just, it was a little bit tight, and then it was a little bit loose. It was kind of all over the place there. I wasn't really sure what was going on, but at the end, it worked pretty good, and that's what matters.
It definitely seemed to. You had front row views of those last 2 incidents, especially the one between the 97 of Ronnie McKay and 98 of Stephen Matthews. Walk us through what were you thinking as you saw all those cars just battling back and forth.
Yeah, I seen them all starting to get wadded up, and I was just trying to stay out of the carnage. I knew they were getting pretty racy up there, so I just tried to lay back, and it paid off.
So, Mike, you won one of the crown jewels in the Maritime iRacing League Triple Crown. You're locked in for the in the top 18 for the season, which guarantees your start here in the Super Series. All those have to be huge coups for you.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, we started this year just kind of seeing what happened. I've never ran a full season here at MIRL, and this is my first run at it, and it seems to be going pretty well so far. I get no complaints at all.
More importantly, unofficially after tonight's run, you're 16th out of the point lead, currently sitting second. That's got to be a good feeling.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. There's a lot of tough guys here, a lot of talent, and man, it's hard. It's hard to win here.
Mike Alexander, before I let you go, it's shout out time, my friend. Anything you want to offer to our audience? Your 15 seconds of fame starts now.
I want to thank R&R Kinsman's Auto Salvage down on Ross Road. Any used auto parts you need, go see them. Revolution Racing, our team we get together there. Keith Mack, Mike Rhino, Carter Wilson, and Travis Roma. We got a pretty good setup for this week, and Speedway Miramichi.
Mike Alexander finishing first out here, picking up one of the crown jewels in the GoTire Mobile Tire Service 250 with the Maritime iRacing League. Congratulations on your big win, Mike. We'll see you next week here in the Maritime iRacing League.
Thank you.
Keith Mack celebrating his win, has taken it to the big party back down to the garage. So let's go ahead and take it over to Cowboy JD Webb with your third place finisher, Jake Goodwin.
Car driver, and I'll tell you what, you did some amazing things with it tonight. Starting out on the first row up there, talk about your race, bud.
I had a pretty good race going until the first or second caution there. I tried to dart in the pits with another car, and we just got together a little, and I knocked my toe out. It was knocked out for the rest of the race, but I was happy with the third place finish.
You know, Joe called me out there at the beginning of the race. He told me, "Hey, Cowboy, take a pick." I picked the number 48, but I tell you what, you did put on a pretty good show. We saw you going backwards there just a little bit, but did you have any? What kind of strategy did you put together after you suddenly found yourself going backwards, trying to get to the front?
I knew tires would be important, and I was just going to take tires any opportunity I could after that.
That's a kind of a Mark Martin move, isn't it? He was very adamant about 4 tires and gas every time he made a stop on pit road.
Yeah, it seemed to really help. Even though I had damage, it helped. The new tires definitely helped there at the end. I didn't have anything for Mike Alexander.
And I'll tell you what, incredible racing here tonight. 250 laps later, who makes it happen for you, bud?
I'd like to thank the sponsor, GoTire, and CBC Racing for all the practice throughout the week.
Outstanding. Good job here tonight at South Boston Speedway. I'm going to turn it back over to Joe Cortez.
You know, in all of my time in sim racing, I've called races with Tim Terry. I've partnered with him on different events, but this is the very first time that I will have the opportunity to interview my longtime broadcast partner, Tim Terry, as a big finisher in a race. Tim Terry bringing home the 4th place win tonight. And Tim, I know for a fact this is not what you expected.
Yeah, that's probably the easiest. I had probably maybe a 10th place car at best tonight, and we played pit strategy. Got the free pass, got lucky on a caution, and we ended up back on the lead lap. I don't know what happened with Steve and Ronnie. Spotter was in my ear, said that they had something going on, and I think I would have probably finished 5th if that race would have went green until that caution that set up the 5-lap restart. But I'm tickled pink with 4th. Laura, I don't know if you can see, but parked out beside my car, my number is on the leaderboard for the first time tonight, so I'm pretty tickled about that. But fantastic race overall. As a league administrator, it was an absolutely awesome race, and I want to thank GoTire HRM for coming on board to sponsor this one. They picked a hell of a race to come on board. These drivers know what to do week in and week out, and I'm proud all around, Joe.
As well you should be. You know, you said you didn't have a strong car tonight, but as we talked in the pre-race show, or before the pre-race show, you needed a big finish to stay within starting position in the Maritime iRacing League. Was this the big finish you needed and were looking for?
Yeah, definitely. I don't think I'm going to fall into the top 18. I'm going to miss in 2 weeks' time. I don't know what track we're at right off. I know we're at Stafford next week, but I'm going to miss 2 weeks' time because I'm going to Concord, North Carolina. But we needed a good finish to at least stay in the top 18. This is likely going to be my final season in the Sportsman division, because if I fall out of this Super Series, then I don't think I'm going to claw my way back in, which reminds me, congratulations to Patrick Healy. He locked himself in tonight in the top 18. But yeah, we definitely needed a good finish. I think this is one of the best finishes I've ever had here. I'd never finished a South Boston race before. I think the last time I finished a South Boston race, I was 10 laps down in 15th or something. So this is definitely a win for me, and looking forward to Stafford next week. If anybody's out there wants to come on board and sponsor the race itself, we're looking for a sponsor for the Stafford race, but it should be fun. That's a racy racetrack, and you got to be good there too. But this is awesome.
Definitely cause for celebration tonight. You said you're going to be missing a race in 2 weeks' time for your trip to Concord, but before that, you're still going to be racing, you know, in the next couple weeks. What's the strategy at this point? You've proven you can be a top 5 car. Are we going to see Tim Terry in victory lane before Concord?
No, that's probably the easiest thing. I'm as optimistic as I can be, but I've had a top 10 car each week. That's about it. Maybe top 15 at the worst. But I've been scrounging what I can. We're top 10 in points now. It's with the season Ricky's had. I'm 4 points behind Ricky. And there's a lot of strong guys that are right there too. I'm looking to at least stay in that top 18. I've got a pretty good lead on 18th, I think, right now. It's just a matter of seeing what I can do from here on out to keep this machine in at least a top 5, top 10 contention, with a little bit of luck on my side, of course.
Tim, real quick, personal question for me. How weird of a juxtaposition is it to be in from being the broadcaster to the interviewee?
It's not bad. It's a little bit awkward finishing in the top 5 when you haven't had a top 5 in 8,000 years. But before we finish off, I do need to thank my sponsors, Tim's Corner Motorsports, everybody back at Swan Racing. I see Parker Kligerman's making his first Cup Series start this weekend, so I want to say hello to Parker. And speaking of 30 cars, I want to also thank Ackles Racing. She's on the lower rear quarter, and the Scotia Speed World Banquet's coming up this weekend, and we may or may not have a party. Just letting you guys know, if you're anywhere near Truro, Nova Scotia, come on in, stop in, have a drink.
So we're invited to the party then?
Hell yeah, come on up.
Where's the bus station?
It's about 2 miles down the road. I'll pick you up.
Looking forward to it.
Broadcasting for the better part of a decade with Tim Terry. The first time he actually invites me to a party with him. Tim Terry finishing 4th in the 75 machine. Good finish, buddy. Honored to be able to interview you on a big win.
Thanks, Joe.
JD Webb, it looks like we got a road trip ahead of us.
Absolutely. I'm looking for the bus ticket now, Cowboy, but I'll tell you what, this is everything I came to see. Absolutely. And, this is the second season for MIRL here on the ETV Motorsports Network. And, Tim Terry and his boys, some fantastic short track racing. And I'll tell you, Father Eddie Walczyk, he's been converting me, doing an absolutely fine job of it. I don't even watch that other stuff on Sunday afternoons anymore. I get my fix right here on ETVLive with the short track races. So a lot of fun here at South Boston, a lot of history here. And, of course, these Cowboys, they got the job done tonight. Big time.
Excellent show, excellent finish. Our thanks to the title sponsor of tonight's race, GoTire Mobile Tire Service. If you need a lift, you know where to go. GoTire Mobile Tire Service. They'll take care of you. Tell them Cowboy Joe sent you, and they will work it out for you. That'll do it for our broadcast tonight. On behalf of my entire broadcast team, our producer and camera operator, Laura Lawson, executive producer, J.D. Webb, I am Joe Cortez, congratulating Mike Alexander once again on his big finish, winning one of the Triple Crown Jewels here at South Boston Speedway. We will see you next week, 7 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Atlantic, for another great race of the Maritime iRacing League. Good night, everybody.
Join 5,000 plus other listeners where you can hear everything from big 80s metal to classic rock and roll, country radio, ETVLive, sports radio, even adult and unplugged rock and roll. HDRadioNetwork.com, one of the fastest growing internet radio networks, HDRadioNetwork.com. Take it with you, cowboy. Get the mobile app for Android, iPhone, iPad, and all the rest from TuneIn.com.